Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Andy255. We're going to kind of put all the props together and get all the textures on the props. We have a requirement list, so make sure you read that. And we should be able to get the requirements out of that prop pack that I downloaded. I have it on Module 3, and that I got it from CG Trader. Go ahead and if you want that one, you can feel free to do other ones if you want to, but I can't really help you with those. You're going to have to problem solve those model assets out yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set up a project, and this is going to be a new project. So we're not going to set a project, we're going to do a new project. Create new, and I'm going to call this any 255 module 3. Alright. Alright, so you can call it whatever you want, just accept it. And I'm going to do some file management now. So I'm going to go find that scene, and I'm going to place everything in there. But before I do that, so we want everything to go into that scene. Okay, so what I'm going to do is right now I've got all my models that I've found in separate files, as you can see. So I've got my cityscape props here, I've got my sports car here, and I have my I believe my module 1 and 2 here. I got that set up, or excuse me, module 1 right here, rain and snow. So that's where my city scene is. Okay, so I'm gonna reuse that city street that I started there, and put them all together to create my scene. Alright, so my sports car's done. If you haven't done that already, you will get to it. I don't know which one I'm going to put, what video I'm going to put first, but they're both about the same, where I show you how to import the sports car, and then I'm going to show you how to do the props. Let's go ahead and get started. With the game props, go ahead and set the scene. Okay, there we go. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and just go ahead and go File, Import. And let's start importing the pieces that we want. Okay, so we need 5 props, basically the fire hydrant. I've got another one. I don't really like this one, but you can use it. This one's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's scaled too big, too large, as you can see that it's not going to match our scale. Okay, so I'm going to get the scaling done in here and all the props in. So let's just knock this out really quick. I'm going to hit the 6 key so we can see the textures on it. Let's go ahead and add a blend. Alright, Maya blend, and let's just go ahead and just call this what it is, fire hydrant. And let's just call that TX for texture. And let's go in here, go to File, and this makes it easy they made it easy for us to find it, so I just dumped that in the source images. They're the folders, and we're just going to use the albedo. We're not going to use anything else. That's all we need. And you can kind of mess with the way it's reflecting off the light by turning down the eccentricity. So I'd turn that down a little bit, make it a little more flat. Okay, it's really up to you. I like a little bit of, shine to it, not a lot. Let's bring that way down like that. Doesn't need much. It's kind of like paint. I think that looks pretty good. Alright. Alright, there's that, and then we're going to just move that over. And we'll continue importing in. So I'm going to import the ones that I want. So I'm going to do mailbox. You guys do what you want. And go ahead and assign a blend to that one. And so I'm just going to continue doing this. Okay, renaming. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here, and you guys can bring in whatever props you want and add the textures to it. It's very simple. I showed you how to do it with the fire hydrants, so go ahead and do that. Continue doing that. And they're easy to find. You can just go in here and Let's go up one here. And this one is the bail box. There we go. And then we're going to do, this one has quite a few different ones here. There's the one we want, the albedo transparency. I'm not worried about anything else. There we go. So there's that one. I can continue bringing them in, and then I'll come back after I pause the video and show you what I got. Okay, we're back, and this is what I got. I've got, looks like a barrier, trash bin, a bench, a mailbox, and a fire hydrant. So those are the props, the assets we are required. We have 5 assets that are required. You're required with the high fire hydrant. I did fire hydrant I like better, but I got all the textures. They don't look bad from a distance, and that's probably how we're going to use them. So don't worry about that. They work just fine. And you've got some other, you don't have to pick the ones I picked. In fact, I don't want you to. I want you to pick ones that you want to use and just apply the textures. And these were actually pretty easy to apply. In fact, when I was doing the blend, there's like 3 different types of barriers. And when I went in here, I forgot to name that. There we go. There's 3 types of barriers in there, and I think I had barrier 2, and they matched it up. So you can see road barrier 2, road barrier concrete, and default. So they did number them. So they actually did a good job for free. That's not too bad. So they actually did some management here, and it'll make our lives a lot easier. Now, if you're trying to import a building, those are almost impossible. So that's why we're basically reusing our module 1 rain simulation scene and kind of getting that set up to look like more of a street scene. So these work just fine. They're low poly, and they should hopefully they will respond to the simulation. Otherwise, you'll have to do some replacement modeling, which is not a big deal. You just basically have to recreate the top of this and wherever the surface is that the water will hit, if that's the case. And that's not a big deal. Hopefully these will respond. And you can always test them out by just creating an emitter and letting it emit. Particles hit those. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select all these. Let's get this ready. Select all these. Basically center pivot, delete by type history, and freeze transformations. And we want to scale these all about the same. At the same time, I'm assuming somebody modeled these properly, but we'll see. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and scale these down all together. Like that. And don't worry, let's get this one. I think the fire hydrant's something like maybe 3 to 4 feet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. That should work. Just click on that guy. And let's get him back to the ground. There we go. Let's just get all these back to the ground or close to it. And we can always mess with these a little bit later, see where we're at with this, and see if the scale's about right. Okay. So now let's hit the F key. And so our park bench, 1, 2, 3, that might be off a little bit. The park bench might be too big, and they're really scaled out far. So let's go ahead and bring those together. Get them basically back into the scene. And hit the F key again. Now we can get kind of work with them a little bit better now. Now they're at the basic right size. Let's get these back kind of into the scene here. And then we can always scale these a little bit more as we move forward with our scene. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Alright, so let's go to the side view, and again, placement's not a big deal here. I just kind of want it so they are like that. There we go. And one of the last things I'm going to do once I got that kind of done, we want to make sure that we move the pivot point down. So if we do want to scale these up, next time they'll be set up. So let's go ahead and click on grid snap, and let's get that snapped, and let's do every one of these so they're easy. I'm just holding the D key down, D as in David, and moving that pivot point. D as in David, move the pivot point, and I got snap on up here. And so I'm just moving that pivot point so it's easy to access these a little bit better. So D for David to move pivot point, and I got the grid snap, so it snapped right to the grid. Now, again, if you're a perfectionist, you're going to want to make sure these are set up, turn grid off, and get them right on ground level. Okay, and then you can go ahead and snap to grid if you want to. I think we're pretty close. Sometimes you just got to be close, you know. Alright, I think that's close enough. That's good. Alright, so that's it. Now you got them all scaled. Now you just need to save them out as an MB file. And then what you'll do is you'll take that and import it into your city scene. And then you can place these and set dress it any way you want. I'm not going to have a video on that. You guys can do that yourself. So basically, you will have your city scene, and you'll import this scene that you created, import it into the city scene. That's all you have to do. Alright, good luck with everything, and hopefully everything simulates the way you need it to. Give me a holler if you need help, and I'll see you guys soon.